All right, and welcome back to Weather Authority Live. Alex and I are here, and Alex, we're going to talk about December 10th and 11th, 2021.
Yeah, so you probably remember this very well. I remember I was living in Arkansas at the time. I was actually pretty new at my job there. We had some tornadoes, and we had the one that started in northeastern part of our viewing area, and that was the Mayfield one.
Yep.
And so it didn't end up being continuous the whole time. It picked up a few times, but this date, 66 total tornadoes across, 5 or 6 states.
Wow, that's
So,
a lot.
Yeah,
Yep.
and we had 16 of them here in Middle Tennessee. And the one you're seeing on your screen is a long track tornado, which is defined by 20 miles or longer. As you can see, it's way more than 20 miles, 123 mile EF3 that started in West Tennessee and went all the way into southern Kentucky. So that was a very impactful one. Dresden had a lot of damage. Some buildings completely destroyed from that one. And you can hit the space bar, or you can go to the next part, because
Yep.
then we had a lot of these, still strong, some EF2s.
Yep.
I think there was 7 EF0, 5 EF1s. What is that? That's 12, and then 4 EF2s. I think that math might be right.
That sounds about right.
And so I have a question for you, because I wasn't, looking at the radar in Middle Tennessee at the time. Were these like all associated with the same supercell, most of them, like a few of them? Or was it a couple of rounds? Do you remember?
I thought it was the actual thing became more of a QLCS line for us later. I'm
Oh.
pretty sure, if I remember this. Now, listen, I get my stuff confused.
That would make sense, though,
Because there were so many of them.
and
But
they're short tracks.
and they're short
Yeah.
tracks. So this all I know is, Alex, most of the ones for us in Middle Tennessee happen between the hours of midnight till 7 a.m. It was a Friday into
goodness.
Saturday. I was on the air until we went through our morning show. So we stayed on till I think 10 a.m. straight. We had live reporters out on the Saturday morning show by that point. But from midnight to 7 is when we had the most. So that was an overnight for us nocturnal threat. Now you talked about that Kentucky, which I'll talk about in just a second. That one we tracked earlier in the night. So that was when
Yeah.
Davis was here, and me and Davis were talking about it going up into, because it went out to Muhlenberg County, where it
Yeah.
actually, unfortunately, did a lot of not good things up that way.
Yeah.
And then we had a lot in Kentucky too. So these were the overnight. But you talk about this because 16 tornadoes, that's a lot. In December, it's our 5th largest outbreak ever.
Yeah, 5th largest ever. I assume it's the largest December outbreak on record.
Yes.
And then, we had a
Okay.
lot in southern Kentucky. That's the next graphic.
Okay, let me show you that one.
And obviously
Yep.
that EF3 went into, you can put
Pull
all
it
the way
out
to
there.
the
Oh,
end.
there we go. Yep.
So it shows it again, 123 miles. But then the part of the Mayfield one that was continuous was on the ground for 165 miles. That's uncalled for. That's crazy. And then obviously in southern Kentucky, there were some stronger ones, a couple EF3s, EF2s. Bowling Green had one pretty close.
Yeah,
So that was just a devastating day.
the EF3 in Bowling Green. So Alex, on Monday after it, I went up and covered live from there. That there was some neighborhoods that got rocked,
Yeah.
and unfortunately there were deaths there. So that one was one I remember really well, actually, up that way. So this was a major outbreak for Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky, and even areas around us. Right? I remember like the year after going to a conference and meeting the Mayfield mayor and talking to her about what that was like. Her entire town was leveled.
Yeah, the pictures from Mayfield were just terrible.
It's just, yeah. I'm glad today on the anniversary, 4 years later, it's a tranquil, nice day with maybe just quiet conditions.
Yeah.
We don't need. I don't love December tornadoes. It's not fun because a lot of folks aren't expecting them and not wanting them. But we got to remind people that they can happen any time of year, any time of day. Now, you did some other investigating, I know, right? So let's talk about this.
And one more thing about the December tornadoes. Basically, I've kind of known, living in the South for a while, if it's December or January or even February and it's like 60 out,
It's not good news.
yeah, the cold front the next day or the cold front that night, that's when we could have issues. So yeah, here's the top 10 largest tornado outbreaks. These are year round.
Okay.
And so 2021 was bad. That was just overall a bad year for tornadoes. It was the most active year on record. So if you can see the 5th one, 16, that was the the
Yep.
4-year anniversary, December 10th and 11th. I couldn't fit it all, but
Yep.
2021. But earlier in 2021, May 4th, there was 14 tornadoes.
Yep.
So just with 2 outbreaks, 30, which is our average is 10 in Middle Tennessee. Again, this is numbers only for Middle Tennessee.
Right.
And just showing it, 2011, April 27th, that was the biggest one, 30 tornadoes. And one more graphic is
the average and all the stuff. Yeah, let me show that.
and then this is one showing the top tornado years. So, the whole calendar year, which years had the most? 2021, really pushed over by that December outbreak, because you add 16 to whatever number was before, 30. 30 wouldn't have been even on the top 3. But now, surprisingly, I think you were a little surprised by this, 2025, we are in the top 4 most active years.
This to me surprised me today when you told me this, because I knew we were at 28, because I just went to a school today to visit, which we'll talk about in just a second. I was talking about 28 tornadoes and saying it's almost triple. But when you looked back at the statistics on this, I was like, wow, we're the 4th. So in like the last 4 years, we've been some of the busiest ever in terms of activity.
Yeah. I mean, in the National Weather, you can see I wrote it, data's from the National Weather Service. They have this data archive, and that's where I got it from. So yeah, in 2025, we've had 28 tornadoes, which is just a crazy amount. And the best stat is this year, no deaths from all 28 of these 28. And obviously we had the super busy stretch at the end of February, early April that we were just so busy. But they were mostly, shorter track, weaker
and
ones.
smaller ones, thank goodness.
Yeah, it's those big EF3, EF4s. I mean, EF5s are super rare. They hardly ever happen.
Yep.
But those EF3s and up, or EF2s and up even, that's why they have like the hatched area.
Yep.
That's really, the deadly tornadoes. So, every tornado can be deadly, but those extra ones really, put up the death tolls. So the thing is that you can, if you have anxiety about severe weather or anything like that, those EF2s and higher are pretty rare.
Exactly.
They're very rare.
I was going to add this in, the EF5,
Yeah.
we've only had one ever. And it's called the Forgotten F5, and it was in 1998 when we had the first Nashville tornado. It was in Wayne, Lawrence, and Giles County. So we don't ever really, it's very rare.
Our area's had one,
Yes,
ever,
in Middle Tennessee. And then in EF4, in terms of the last one after Cookeville in 2020, was April 10, 2009, the Good Friday tornado in Murfreesboro. So it doesn't happen that frequently, the big ones. Now, EF3, every now and again, but mostly it's weaker. So, and like you said, best thing we can do, be prepared. Okay, by the way, speaking of being prepared, I got to go get prepared for the 6th. I want to give a quick shout out to these kiddos. I'm going to put them full out so we can say goodbye. Rockville Elementary, the kindergartners, said hello to them. They are severe weather safety prepared, because they talked about their severe weather plan. So with that, I hope you had a great day. Alex, have a great weekend.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see y'all later.
Bye.